Welcome to Palatka, Florida. My name is Jeff McGovern, and we're standing here on the banks of the St. Johns River. Palatka is a riverfront community that was founded in the mid-1800s and at one time was actually larger than Jacksonville, Florida. We're here to talk about some new Emmrods today, and in particular, the new Emmrod Combat Rod is just one of these new offerings. This one is one of my personal favorites. If you can imagine, 6 inches of stainless steel in front of a casting handle. We have our new TPE grip on here, and that's a non-slip super durable material most commonly found on the handles of custom knives. We're the first fishing rod manufacturer to offer that on a fishing pole. And this new handle is ergonomic, it's comfortable, it has a superb grip, and when you team this thing with a good casting reel, you'll get the same amount of distance, even with 6 inches of rod, that most people can get out of 6 foot of casting rod. Of course, the main difference being, with this Emmrod at 4 coils, this rod is capable of landing just about anything that swims. My personal best in the last year on this particular pole was a 44-pound muskie at Lake of the Woods up in Canada, so I know it can handle the big fish. This model has already gotten for me a number of redfish and trout and flounder, so in saltwater it is every bit as effective. It comes in both a spinning and a casting version, and we'll show you those just a little bit later on. And in fact, why don't we do a quick casting demo and show you just how far we can throw this thing. I get a lot of questions about just how far an Emmrod can cast. So what I've got rigged up here, 12-pound test monofilament, and this is on the Combat Rod, which is our shortest. This is the 4 coil, which is our stiffest. And what I've done is take a 3/8 inch surface lure, and we're going to throw it out into the St. Johns and see just how far. And I'm just going to do a little soft sidearm cast because that's generally all you need to get distance with an Emmrod. So here we go. I think that's more than adequate for distance. It's gone out there quite a ways. I can barely see the lure in the distance, and that's just as far as you need to cast for fishing. And by the way, it's also extremely accurate. I get this question a lot. What the heck is a universal Emmrod? You know, it makes sense, and maybe I just need to simplify that and explain what's happening. I've got a casting outfit here, 4 coil, so it's heavy action. And when I rig this up, the line is going to go from my casting reel through the coil, through the tip, and then I can fish with it. And as it bends, of course, the coils will act as a ramp, send the line to the tip, and protect it from breaking no matter how big a fish I get. But wait a minute, what if I'm a spin fisherman? Well, you know what? You don't need another pole. All you have to do is disconnect that pole from the handle, take your spinning handle, insert it, and run it with the coils on the bottom. The line comes from the reel through the coils out the tip, and now you have a spinning rod. So what we've gotten here is one rod that handles casting or spinning duties, therefore the universal Emmrod. Let's talk real quickly about the different styles of Emmrod rod ends we have, because I know a lot of people are confused with that. First of all, our longest. This is the Topwater Special. It's 4 coils, all stainless steel, and this is our most flexible rod. This is the one that you could throw live shrimp with, you could throw a lighter lure with, you could throw possibly a slip bobber with a small bait attached. It's a very, very slow action and pitches the lure out slowly so you don't snap it off. I like this for light action angling. Now, if I'm going to go to a slightly shorter pole, the next selection would be our 7 coil universal rod, and this is basically our medium action stick. It's the standard length Emmrod, as I said, 7 coils. It's spinning in this direction, it's casting in this direction with the coils up. Next in line would be our 4 coil universal Emmrod, once again casting and then spinning. This is stiffer. I consider this medium heavy. Then we go to a 7 coil universal combat rod. And there's a little bit of flexibility here, not much. but this is really a heavy action rod. And then if I want to go to really extra heavy action, I would go to the 4-coil combat rod. And when I say action within Emmrods, what I'm talking about here is really casting efficiency. I mean, obviously the shorter, stiffer rods are going to be a little more difficult to cast, and it requires a bit more subtle action from the angler. What you will find when learning to cast Emmrods, your casting stroke is going to be much, much shorter once you learn to use the rods, and you'll be far more efficient with your cast and won't require as much arm movement. Where these really shine is when you're in a crowded boat with 2 or 3 anglers, you're not hooking each other. And when I get a big fish next to the boat on an Emmrod, even with the longest pole, the fish is right there, so all I have to do is reach down with my fish grips and snap on, or grab him in the net, and I've got him. I want to show you the new Emmrod spinning rod. In this case, once again, this is a short handle. This is our pack rod version. This comes in both casting and in spinning. In my case, once again, a very short 4-coil combat rod has been installed here. Now, the interchangeability factor is pretty simple. I just push and turn, and I can pop out that short rod, and I can connect up a longer one with one quick move, and now I have an Emmrod Topwater Special spinning outfit. This is our longest pole, and then this is our shortest Emmrod. So you can see the difference. In either case, you can land fish of massive sizes on these poles, far larger than you could ever imagine. In my case, the prototype version of this rod, you can see on the website in Crystal River Part 2, and we land a 38-inch redfish on this pole. So the fightability and castability and everything else for fish is superb. And one other quick note, this reel is the brand new Emmrod spinning reel, and these are going to be available on the website very, very soon. In this case, it's a 2000 series reel. It works very well with 8-pound monofilament, or if you prefer, you can put braid on here, and I would say up to about 15-pound test, which means you'd have a spinning outfit that could take you anywhere in the United States, and you'd be successful. For the big game fisherman, for somebody who wants to purposely go after very large fish, this could be the ideal Emmrod outfit. And as is my preference, a shorter handle, TPE grip. This is once again our pack rod spinning handle. It will soon be available in a longer version. We're not quite there yet with those. But what I've done here is equip this particular outfit with a 4-coil universal spinning rod. For a reel, a Qualia NLF30. This reel will easily handle 60-pound braid, and so with this outfit, you can combat anything you would want to fish for. I don't care if you're fishing out of a kayak, a canoe, or a power boat, this little spinning outfit will take you anywhere that adventure fishing will care to take you. Here at Jeff's Tackle Box, we also offer Emmrods for the less complicated angling situations. In this case, an Emmrod packer, and as with all Emmrods, the poles are interchangeable. It collapses down for small storage. And what I've done here is equip myself with what you might call a professional spin cast outfit. I've added a Qualia Mule 10 spin cast reel, and in all the searching I've done to find a bulletproof saltwater spin cast reel, this has been the result. This reel can handle saltwater and freshwater conditions with no problem. It'll land big fish with no problem. It'll handle 14-pound fire line, so if you really want to go out and do battle with heavyweight fish, you can. I've got a 7-coil rod on here, which not only will fight big fish, but because of its flexibility, will enable me to shoot the lure underneath the dock or underneath the trees to get it into a tight spot. And down here in Florida, where we do a lot of fishing in mangroves, this is wonderful for popping a lure directly under mangrove limbs, and then you just drag the fish right back out. And of all the spin cast reels I've ever used, this one can handle it. And you combine that with the metal handle on this Emmrod, you've got a heavyweight package that anybody can use to go fishing. This is our longest Emmrod rod end. This is the Topwater Special. And it was because of this rod we discovered the universal rod profile a few years ago and then brought it out about a year and a half ago. And once again, real simply, in the casting position, the line goes through the coils to the tip and then to the lure. If I had a spinning reel on here, I would simply use the same rod end with the spinning reel, line through the coils to the tip and then on. The advantage to the line going through the coils is this. When you hook a large fish and the rod bends, no matter how it's bending, the coils serve as a ramp that points the line at the tip. That's very valuable in fighting a big fish and protecting the line. In the casting position, the same thing happens. The rod bends and the line is pointed at the tip by the ramp created by the coils. So it works for either type of fishing. And we'll go ahead and make a cast with it here. And the funny thing is, topwater lure, topwater special, this is what the rod was specifically designed for. And the longer it's been on the market, more and more people are telling me it's good for fishing straight down with a drop shot rig. I've got fellows here in Florida that are using it with super line to fish up against pilings because they say when they hold the rod with their fingers on the steel, they can feel every subtle vibration coming through it. So the topwater special is really a very versatile piece of equipment. Let's go ahead and make that cast. As you can see, it's pretty well gone. It's quite a ways out in the river right now. But at any rate, this should dispel any notion that a short fishing rod doesn't throw very far, because the Emmrods certainly do. More than far enough for any fishing you're going to encounter. Let's make a few casts with an Emmrod spinning rod, in this case 4-coil universal, and this is one of Emmrod's new reels, the little 2000 series spinning outfit, and I have it loaded with 8-pound test monofilament. Now, by its nature, a spinning rod will generally not throw as far as a casting outfit, so you will lose a little bit of distance, and that's just the difference between having line come off of a fixed spool and line coming off revolving. However, for all practical purposes, if you like to spin fish, this outfit is as efficient as a 6-foot spinning rod. And that's a reasonable cast with a very lightweight popping lure, and as we can just flick it across the surface and catch our fish.